and welcome back to the Journeyman Save. I'm Coach Left Foot. It's a pleasure to have you with me. Well, not too much to report on really since last time because we haven't played any games. We've just had the transfer window closing and not too much happened. So on the transfers outs, well, let's go ins first. We bought in Billy Left Foot on loan from Olympiacos. Totally unnecessary. He's literally here because he's my son. Next one, Kasper Dolberg joins. A pretty big loan fee, to be honest, but I really like Kasper Dolberg in real life, and I think on this game he is phenomenal. Hasn't had the best of times while he's been at Liverpool. Had a couple of loans out after they signed him as well, hoping that he can find some form whilst he's in Germany, which would be very good. We do have, I think it's a deal that we can sign him for optional fee of 16 million. So if he does fire it in, that would be quite the bargain if we can do it. On the outs, nothing really major to report, just loans. We've sold a youngster, Chancel Makengo, who had good potential, so I've whacked in a 50% sell-on fee, profit fee thing. But other than that, it's just loans that we don't really need to worry about because, yeah, we didn't sell anyone for any money. So as I said, not too much has happened. Schedule-wise, we've literally not played any games. This will be the second game of the season, and I'm going to show it to you live because we're away at Wolfsburg. Our Champions League group was drawn. Inter, Sparta Prague and Chelsea. So not the toughest group, but also not the easiest. Inter and Chelsea both in there will make it tough. And we've been drawn against Freiburg, I think is how you pronounce it, Freiburg, in the second round of the German Cup after the 8-0 hammering of Hamburg. So it's all going pretty well. We're going to take to the field and play against Wolfsburg. We're going to put it on extended highlights. I'm going to do another episode where we talk through questions and answer questions that you put on the previous videos that I haven't done yet. So we'll go through that. Apologies if your question doesn't get answered. Leave it as a comment again on this question, on this video, and we'll go through it. And while we're chatting, if you're enjoying the series and all that, please do leave a like. It helps the channel massively, and that's really appreciated. But for now, let's get into the game. Again, this is how we line up. Leno is in goal. Heinrichs, Udeki, Barrio and Muller are the back four. Witt and Weigl are in the middle. Or Weigl, not too sure. Isaac, Havertz and Brett Higgins gets a start in the attacking midfield role, and Demate is up front as our lone striker. They line up in a 4-4-2, no real names, a back five purely made up of regions, and their front two is as well, so we'll have a quick look at them. Van der Heijden does look pretty good. Van Leeuwen, so they've got double Dutch up front. He looks very handy indeed. In the goal, they've got Mangalenez, and I'm not going to look at the defenders because that will probably just scare me equally as much as looking at those players did. So passionately, well, assertively, in the press conference, the assistant said would be keen to get revenge. So let's go out there and tell everybody that they should go and get revenge, because then it backs up what he said in the conference. And there's a lot more to come from everybody in the team talk. We will just quickly knock this down to extended highlights, just because we're going to do this episode to answer some more questions. So the game gets underway. They're kicking off. Wolfsburg with a home kit, playing in for some reason yellow. That they're not. The linesman and the ref are in yellow. Wolfsburg are in white with blue numbers. Right, first question to answer. What is the worst moment for Man United in their modern history? For example, City 3-2, last day of the season, and Sir Alex retiring. I think obviously Sir Alex retiring was a massive hit. Whether it's the worst moment for United in their modern history, I don't know, but it was a big hit. Everyone could see it coming as Brett Higgins recovers that ball very well. I'd honestly say, I think when we got smashed, was it 5-0 or 5-1 or something to Man City? That was horrendous. I didn't enjoy that. I also think Isaac's in, shoots terribly wide. But yeah, I didn't enjoy that moment. That was not very good at all, to be honest. Yeah, I didn't like that. It was also a very gut-wrenching moment when the old Aguero goal went in, where Man United we'd won the league, and then 10 seconds later we hadn't. And we scored. It's either an own goal. I think it could be an own goal, but it's not. Demate gets the goal. A guy who seems to be doing much better than his stats would suggest. But we do go 1-0 up. Heinrichs gets the ball, as we have a weird flickery line in the middle. Heinrichs gets the ball, puts it into Isaac, who does very well, who someone has commented is actually going to be, he is listed in real life as actually being a very good potential player, Isaac, which is great. So yeah, I'd probably go, that Aguero moment just annoys me as a Man United fan, and it gets repeated over and over and over again. So I'll go with that. Next question, can we discuss FM is in positional combinations, like ball-winning midfielder and a box-to-box? I'd like to know what you choose and why throughout the team from back to front, and you think this combination affects. Oh, okay, that's a very interesting. Areas on the pitch, such as defender roles, leaving too much space in the gap in the field, and so on. Sorry to ramble, you know, like a good old chinwag. Yeah, well, thank you, Brett. That's a very good question. I think, to be honest, the way I play the game is I don't do it so much as a click and rush like you could used to on CMO 102 and 97, 98 and CM2 and things like that. Get a formation, keep clicking it through. But I do tend to build formations up and then stick with them, as BAYER puts us 2-0 up. Wonderful stuff. The guy that we had at Olympiacos as well. We, yeah, positional wise, I will try and get people playing in the best formation they can. I mean, the prime example would be to show you this now. I try and get people playing to prefer how they play if they can. So that's why, if you think, remember this formation at Olympiacos, we had 2 just normal centre-backs. We've changed Donkey to a ball-playing defender-back purely because he's very, very good. So you'll get, especially, it's more evident down in the lower leagues that people can only do certain things, but then I would normally play, if I was playing lower league, I'd have centre midfielders that were just centre midfielders or playmakers. I wouldn't go for any of the fancy ones, and that's why you get a bit like this. So Brett Higgins, he has stats where he should probably be a playmaker, but I don't want him to be a playmaker, and he's not as good as, oh, it's actually you, isn't it? Yes, you're not as good as Havertz, because, I mean, look at the difference in stats. So Havertz will get the primary role, and then these two, they're both attacking players. I just want them to get in and around the striker. That's their job. That's how I want it to play. I think if you're using a box-to-box midfielder, you need someone that will sit back when he's doing his attacking part of it. When he's attacking, let's get the game back underway because I'm not actually going to make any changes as we're 2-0 up. I think, yeah, box-to-box midfielder needs to be supported by a deep line playmaker on defend, or a centre midfielder on defend, or a holding midfielder behind him. Generally, that's how I'd work, because I'd consider it that the box-to-box, the point of a box-to-box is that he would get up and back. So when he's up, you need someone to cover him, as Di Mattei goes pretty close. So that's what I think about that, and I don't want to ramble too much, but defenders, I think as long as you have people in the midfield that are on a defensive duty, you can play with attacking fullbacks, and I think your centre-backs will be dictated by the stats they have. I much prefer to be playing with attacking fullbacks. I think it's built into the match engine that you'll struggle if you don't use generally attacking fullbacks. I think, oh, Isaac, that's a great header, and it's 3-0 inside 18 minutes. We are storming to victory in this game already. I think with wing-backs, if you have them on support, or fullback, sorry, if you have them on support, click the look for overlap button, because it makes them push up a little bit more. If you have them on attack, that's not very necessary because they're going to push up naturally. But if they do attack, you need someone from the midfield, not necessarily to drop all the way back into this gap, but to be on defensive, so they're not, you haven't got your whole team pushing up. That's pretty much what I think, because we've intercepted this from a kickoff highlight as well. As Isaac comes forward, he's tackled by Goossens very, very well. I'm happy as well that someone said I've nailed the Gonçalves thing, which was great. I'm glad I got it once. Now that I don't have to say his name ever again, I'm glad I absolutely nailed it. Right, let's focus on the game for a little bit, and we'll go and have a look at the next some next questions in a bit. So yeah, great. It's through. Di Matei's tackled by Goossens, and it's gone in. And that came pretty much out of not very much. We were building up on the left-hand side. The ball came over the top. And Di Mattei got sort of, wasn't even real. We'll see it from here. Muller got it at the left-back position into Havertz, into Brett Higgins, who puts a lovely ball through. And Di Mattei, it was clean on goal. And Goossens had to make the tackle, but the keeper just was not expecting it. 4-0 before half-time. Inside 20 minutes. 4-0 up inside 20 minutes. Absolutely incredible. Okay, on to the next question as the next highlight loads. So, Marco Toss, will you try and sign all the Patreon regions to the next club? I definitely will be trying. However, you've moved to Inter Milan, so the chances of me buying you are quite slim. But I will be trying it. We will be trying to buy Jan Petric. Oh, header goes just wide. We will be trying to buy Jan Petric as well. However, they decided to send him out on loan. Olympiacos sent him out on loan to FC Utrecht. And FC Utrecht didn't want us to take over the loan and weren't rejected all the bids for him because he's out on loan. As Van Leeuwen squares it and Van Huden puts it wide. Oh no, it's a good block actually from Udeki. So there'll be a corner for Wolfsburg here. Looking to get something from this. They can't. Havit heads it on and Brett Higgins will just make sure that is cleared up nicely as we're sending some people forwards to try and join the counter-attack here. Brett Higgins has held it up very well. Ball in, looking for Di Mattei at the back. Squares it. Isaac really should have scored. It should have been 5-0. So next question from MPK1NG. King, I think that's meant to be. Apologies for butchering your name. Ball in, headed away. Fit won't get there. It'll come to Akulo. Herrera. That's an absolutely terrible shot. 1. Are you planning on doing this Journeyman Save realistic or trying to win as many trophies as you can in Europe? For example, if you go to Barcelona and win the league, will you leave to take a job in the lower league so you can win another trophy? That's exactly what I'll do. This game is, while it's a journeyman to try and win the Champions League with a big club, it's also to try and win as many trophies as possible over the whole of Europe. So that's why when I said in the last episode or the episode before I was removing some leagues, I didn't remove all the top divisions in every country. Every country in Europe still has its top division loaded until I've won the league in that country. So the plan is to, yes, do a journeyman and try and do it a bit realistic and take jobs for money and win the Champions League. But I think once we've won the Champions League, we're going to try and just basically bum around Europe winning trophies wherever we can. As Coco has some space and he shoots. That's a terrible. Their strikers are awful. Where do you think you'll end up at the end of this save? I have no idea. Absolutely no idea where I'm going to end up. I really hope it's somewhere. I hope I end in England. I might go to England beforehand just to give a chance of winning the Champions League. As Herrera back to Coco, back to Herrera, shoots over the bar. But yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. There's a lot of people listing where I should go. Unfortunately, I've already picked Leverkusen. I think we've answered a few questions as Van Leeuwen does get them a goal back. 35 minutes into the game, 4-1. I've got all the old videos loaded. If I come to a question for the second half, then we'll cover it. Havit with the ball out to Heinrichs. Heinrichs has it back into Havertz. Havertz to Isaac. To Dimarte. There was a run from Brett there, but he didn't get into it. Isaac back to Brett Higgins. Dimarte back in, and it's cleared away by Mays. Weigl will get there. He's got a ball up the line. He keeps it in play. Into Havertz. Havertz to Witt. Witt to Isaac. Isaac round the corner. Dimarte finds him. Shoots from range and scores. And it is 5 in the first half. 5-1 after 36 minutes. This is incredible. Absolutely incredible. As Weigl kept it in play into Havertz. Havertz back to Vid. I think that would be. Isaac round the corner. Dimarte takes a touch and fires it past the goalkeeper. He is so much better than his stats suggest. It is incredible. That does put us top of the league as well. As I assume Bayern are going to be playing at a later date because they weren't near the top of the table. We might as well get the league table back up as they put a ball in that ends up going. Oh, Bayern were 5th actually, so they have played 2 games. They're just not. They haven't won both of them, so this would put us top of the table on goal difference, which is wonderful. As Majcek gets tackled by Weigl, who's having a very good game by all accounts. Ball out to nobody as Mays picks it up for Wolfsburg, up to Akolo. Akolo into Van der Heyden. Van der Heyden to Majcek. They're keeping the ball really well. We need to get them under pressure. Van Leeuwen. Van Leeuwen with a run from Sergio Hjau. Leno makes a very good save. And that will, yeah, with his corner, I don't think anyone will come there. There we go. Should see us through to half-time. So, in at half-time, 5-1 up. It's very, very comfortable. I'm just going to calmly say I'm very pleased with the performance. Keep it going. Nothing much to change there. We've changed to key highlights now for the second half because we're 5-1 up. I've done most of the questions from previous videos. So, a couple now from the last video that I put out. Who is your favourite German player? I'm sure that's going to do. Who's your favourite German team? That's from Callum, who's a Patreon. If you want to get your name in the game, all you have to do is donate $1 to my Patreon. The links are in the description below. My favourite German player. I do really like Mesut Ozil. Even though he can come across a bit lazy, technically on the ball he's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Miroslav Klose was my all-time favourite German player because his goal-scoring record was insane. And so much I named one of my previous rabbits after him. So, yeah, I really love Miroslav Klose. Favourite German team? Don't really have one. Leverkusen. I'll pick Leverkusen now, why not? They're who I'm playing as in Football Manager. So at the moment, they will be my favourite German team. Who else have we got here? Will we see your son in the Bundesliga? I've answered that question. Here he is. Van Leeuwen is in, squares it. Van der Heyden can't miss from there. And it's 5-2. Let's not throw this game away, please. That would be incredibly embarrassing. We're going to drop down to control just to control the play and keep the ball. Everybody, well, the 2 guys thanking you their name in the game. No, thank you for supporting the channel as you do. It's really, really good and really helpful for me. So thank you very much. Who is my favourite club in Portugal? Come from Simao Gamer. Favourite club in Portugal? I don't know. I've got a bit of a soft spot for Sporting because they were back in the days of Champ Manager 102. They had ridiculously good youngsters that you could sign, which was very cheap, which was very good. But I do quite like. I've been to Benfica's ground when I was over in Portugal. It was a very impressive stadium. Didn't get a chance to go to Sporting's as they've just hit the bar. So we really are trying to mess this up. But 10 minutes to go. Let's get some fresh legs on. And I've really liked Iker Casillas as a goalkeeper, and now he plays for Porto. I quite like Porto. Brett Higgins is going to come off and be replaced by Kasper Dolberg for his debut. He's going to sit behind in that attacking role. Dimarte, I think, is on a 9. I want to rest him for the Champions League. So, Callum, you're going to come on up front for the last few minutes. And we'll just go from there. Everybody else is playing pretty well. So, yeah, I don't really have any thoughts or, like, big, strong feelings to Portugal or Germany. But I like to follow it. Leverkusen, yeah, I've always liked a bit of Leverkusen because the way they're set up with BAYER, the company, I think is quite interesting. That's more of a backstory, though, that I find interesting. And Portugal, yeah. Porto, because of Iker Casillas, Sporting because of, well, Cristiano Ronaldo played there. That's who we signed him from. And the background in Champ Manager 0102. And then Benfica because their stadium was really impressive when I went to see it. Not saying the other clubs don't have impressive stadiums. It's just that I haven't seen them, as Callum Bacon goes very, very close. But yeah, hopefully, again, you've enjoyed one of these episodes where we answer some questions. So if you've got any questions at all, leave them in a comment below. Comments, likes, views, it helps the channel out massively. And a big thing to say is we've done 1,500 subscribers on the channel now, which is absolutely incredible. And the final whistle goes within 5-2. We are top of the league, which is great. And it's great that we've got 1,500 people subscribed to the channel. I'll do some sort of something to celebrate 1,500, maybe a vlog or something, I don't know. It's incredible to think something I've done just as a little side thing at home to keep myself entertained, to show, just put a game I love playing on YouTube, then to get 1,500 people to subscribe to my channel is absolutely incredible. So thank you all very, very much for that. I think we probably will end it there. It might be a slightly shorter episode today, but with the comments and stuff, I'm generally talk quite a lot throughout it. So I think we'll leave it there. We'll be back for probably going to play quite a lot. Maybe the second Chelsea game in the Champions League. And we'll see how it's going from there. Unless something important happens here, maybe come back for the game against Bayern Munich and Chelsea. That would make more sense. We'll come back for the 2 away games against Bayern Munich and Chelsea and have a massive double header on our hands for that episode. So yeah, thank you very much. We will leave it there. And if you have any comments, questions, leave them below. If you want your name in the game, all you have to do is subscribe to $1 on my Patreon account. I must say that if you cancel your subscription, your name will get removed from the game. So obviously it's an ongoing thing. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Thanks for all the support, all the likes and all of that. I'll see you very, very soon. But for now, I'm out. Cheers.